Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Mysticall, and today I'm going to bring you a guide on Thunder Focus Tea, how to use it, when to use it, and the best ways to maximize your healing output when it's active. So, I wasn't too sure how to structure this guide. There's a lot of variables to Thunder Focus Tea. The most important thing you need to know is that being able to utilize Thunder Focus Tea to its maximum potential is the biggest difference between a decent Mistweaver and an exceptional Mistweaver. It is like it's a really good cooldown. It's really short, but you need to be able to know how to use it. So I'm just going to go through each of its effects, and I'm going to tell you when to use it, and what the best time to use that effect would be. Now, something to note is that this is primarily for the Ancient Mistweaver Arts build. If you are using Way of the Crane, if it's in RBGs, you're going to be using Thunder Focus Tea for Renewing Mists, and if you're in 3s, you're primarily going to be using it for Instant Enveloping Mists. So that's pretty much it for Way of the Crane. It's really complicated for Ancient Mistweaver Arts, though, so I'm going to do my best to explain it to you. The first effect you get from Thunder Focus Tea is Effuse, healing increased by 200%. Now, this is the one that you're going to be using most often, and the one that a lot of people mistake. If I just simply Thunder Focus Tea right now, and then just do 2 envelopings, let's see what they heal for. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong window. I'm a nub. So Effuse healed for 862,000 and 575,000. The problem with that, and it's good, it's a really good heal that you get from Effuse. The problem with that is that you have an honor talent called Fortune Turned, and this makes your Effuse apply Fortune Turned and increases healing that target receives by Effuse by 50%, stacking up to 2 times. So that's an overall increase of Effuse by 100% when you have 2 stacks of Fortune Turned. Now, if you don't have 2 stacks of Fortune Turned active, and then but you use Thunder Focus Tea and use Effuse, you're losing out on a lot of healing. You really are. You won't be able to top somebody off if they're taking a lot of single target pressure. So let's see. You can see the 2 stacks of Fortune Turned, healing increased by 100%, and then I'm going to use Thunder Focus Tea, Effuse, and now you see the healing of Effuse is 1.1 million. Which is double? It should be around double of this one. It's a little bit. Yeah, this one is double. This one must have crit. So yeah, you're doing twice as much healing, but it just requires like a little bit of setup. So just be sure to always use Thunder Focus Tea Effuse when you already have 2 stacks of Fortune Turned on the target you're going to be Effusing. It's really important. It's really good single target healing. You're going to use it when the enemy team uses their cooldowns. You have 2 stacks of Fortune Turned, and they're at around like 50%, and you just want to top them. This will easily top any of your teammates. So let's go on to the next effect. Enveloping Mist is instant cast. Now, like I explained earlier, you'll be using that for Way of the Crane. There are some times where, I'm sure people have noticed that I have used Thunder Focus Tea instant enveloping. I use this primarily when I'm playing against a team like RMP or RMD with a lot of healing, or not a lot of healing, a lot of CC, and there's a small gap between polys and clones. I can get a Thunder Focus Tea enveloping off, just the small heal, just to keep them alive until I get out of crowd control. That's primarily when I use it. It's really bad against teams with Dispels, though, if you're not running Dome of Mist. I also use it if I'm playing against, actually, I have an example of it. I couldn't find the video, where I'm playing Warrior. It was Warrior, Mage, Shaman, and the Warlock, not the Warrior, and the Mage were really fast interrupting, and I couldn't get it off, so I would Thunder Focus Tea and Enveloping Mist, just so I wouldn't get interrupted. That's fine. Also, that's more than fine. One talent I want to explain is Focus Thunder. So now you Focus Tea now empowers 2 of your next spells. So let's say, for example, you're in that situation where you don't want to get interrupted or something, and you use Thunder. Let's see, you're healing somebody. and your Thunder Focus Tea instant enveloping, you still have a second charge, and you can use an empowered Effuse. So my Effuse just healed for 2.9 million. I'm sure it's not like that in Arena, but it's going to be pretty close to that. So you could use it in a lot of creative ways. You could use one empowered Effuse on 2 Fortune Turned and maybe an enveloping, stuff like that. It's really, it's a very flexible spell or ability to use. It's just knowing how to use it. The next is Essence Font, channels 100% faster. Now, Essence Font still, it's a mana eater, but it's better, and the hot is it's better than before. It's in 7.2.5. So I use this when I'm using Mana Tea, because I don't want to go using Essence Font. But I use it when I'm playing against like Shadow Priest Boomy or Shadow Priest Warlock, or anything rot, maybe Shadow Cleave where it's Warlock Death Knight. That's when I use it. And I'll use it when the team excuse me, when the team doesn't have that many interrupts, because it feels bad when you empower an Essence Font, use all that mana, and then you just get kicked on it. Like it's an awful feeling. But I use it when there's not a lot of interrupts left and you're starting to rot a little bit. So you got some renewing mists out and you just want to top your team off. You could use an empowered Essence Font, and it's actually really strong. You also use it in RBGs when you're using Warrior the Crane, or even if you're not, with this talent, because it refreshes the hot, which is pretty good. The next one is Renewing Mist, does not trigger cooldown. Now, this one I primarily use when I'm using these talents, Counteract Magic and Dome of Mist, mostly because I'm not going to be having Chrysalis, so that means I'm playing it's a rot team. And with this talent, Focus Thunder, that means you can, as long as this isn't off cooldown and you use this, you'll have 3 Renewing Mists that you could use. 1, 2, 3. So you could put that on you and your teammates. You could, or if you're not taking any damage, you could put on your teammates and their pet. If you're playing with a Warlock or Death Knight or Hunter, something like that, that's fine too. Whatever, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, Renewing Mist is the one I use pretty often. That and Effuse are the 2 most important ones. And finally, there's one more, yeah? Vivify has no mana cost. This is probably the least used one. I probably use the Essence Font one more than this one, because you really never Vivify in PvP, ever. I really don't think I've ever used this for Vivifies. Ever. I really don't. But if I were to think of a situation where I would use it, would be if I actually have 0 mana, which hasn't happened this patch. If I have 0 mana and I need to keep my team alive for, like, we're going in for a kill and it's pretty close, then I would use 2 Vivifies. But outside of that, you won't use that often. A little TLDR for everybody. Maybe I should have put this at the beginning of the video. But for Effuse, use it when you have 2 Fortune Turned and your teammate is taking strong single target pressure. Enveloping Mist, use it in between gaps of long crowd control chains, or if you don't want to be interrupted on Enveloping Mist. And if you're running Dome of Mist because you don't want it to be dispelled. Essence Font, use that when your team is starting to rot and you're running Mana Tea. Even if you're not running Mana Tea, you can still use it, just don't use it too often. That's just talking about Essence Font in general. Renewing Mist, use that against rot teams, and when you use Counteract Magic, because it's really strong. You put it on everybody, you can put it on pets, and it spreads. It's awesome. And then finally, Vivify, no mana cost. Use that when you have 0 mana. And that's pretty much it. If this was too fast, I don't think it was too fast. I went pretty in depth on it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thunder Focus Tea is really important to understand and is pretty much based around these talents and this talent, just so you can get an extra charge of it. But that's pretty much it. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I will answer them. I don't mind it. I love it. And that's pretty much it. Hope everyone is enjoying Tomb of Sargeras. There will probably be a stream tonight or tomorrow of me doing normal/heroic. And that's pretty much it. Hope everyone had a great day, and I'll see you later.